By the time I hit my 50s, I'd learned a few things, like how family is precious. Work can always wait. And 99% of people over 50 already have the virus that causes shingles. Not everyone at risk will develop it, but I did. The painful, blistering rash disrupted my life for weeks. Don't learn about your shingles risk the hard way. Talk to your doctor or pharmacist today. Sponsored by GSK.
Alrighty, folks, we are coasting in for a landing with our Summer of Steve sale. That's our 30% off Supercast membership sale. Holly, tell the good people why we even do Supercast.
Okay. Basically, it's this. We put this podcast out for free, and we always will. That'll never change. It's for you. And everyone can get the most recent 100 or so episodes of Mega, no matter what. But really, Supercast is you saying, hey, instead of consuming that content for free every week, I'd actually like to compensate you both for it. It's the way we really make money from our work. And I assure you, it ain't much money, but hey, it's something, and everything counts right now. So when you join, you're saying, I think it's worth paying for 4 episodes per month for the price of a candle at Home Goods. And you know what I'm talking about.
And I get it. If, $6 or $8 a month affects your bottom line, by all means, let the offering plate pass you by. I have been there. But if it doesn't, and even if you join for just a few months, it really does help. And on top of compensating us for the work that we do and this cool content, you get perks, of course. That means the entire catalog ad-free. That's 450 of your favorite episodes, behind-the-scenes podcasts, member-only live streams, what have you. So head on over to mega.supercast.com. The link is in the show notes. And get in on this sale, y'all. 30% off. You will not regret it.
Woohoo! Thanks.
Mega is an improvised satire from the staff of a fictional megachurch.
We are here, Lord, we are here, and we're ready to podcast.
Hiya, I'm Hallie Labont, and this is Mega, coming to you from Twin Hills Community Church, where every single week we're giving our mega church a tiny family feel. And per usual, I'm joined by my co-host. He's the youth pastor for our high school ministry called Climax. Please welcome Gray Haas.
It's no bit because God is a hit, Hallie. How are you?
You know I am blessed and ready to go. I am so excited because our guest today, well, let me say it like this. Just like Jesus caters to our hearts and feeds our souls, our guest today caters to our bellies and feeds our tummies. It's your best friend and mine, Tumnus Nelly. Welcome to the program, Tumnus. We love somebody who feeds us. How you doing?
So good to be here. I feel like I'm mostly just kind of in the kitchen, so it's nice to kind of get out of the kitchen and get to spend some time with you guys.
That is great.
I love a fella who works with food. So often it's the gal of the family, it's the mom, and when a guy is cooking, I tell you what, for me, that's, what do you call it? Housewife porn?
Hallie.
I wouldn't know, but maybe.
Well, Tumnus, let's definitely get into it. First, the first thing that I was thinking is it strange how chefs tend to be men, but cooks end up being women? Most cooks in the home are women. And so how do you end up getting interested in doing food service as a man? And do you refer to yourself as a chef, or are you really going, I'm a caterer, that's what I do?
Yes. Well, in some shape or form, I've probably filled in every role in the kitchen.
Okay.
Nice.
And that's an exciting part. And like with events, you might have to. You might have to be chopping up the chicken. You might have to be folding the napkins. There's a lot that goes into it. And sometimes you just need hands places.
Right.
Yeah.
Right.
As far as the gendered thing, I think, part for me, I think it was a love of knives kind of growing up. I was a bit of a wild kid.
Oh, okay. And what do you mean love of knives? You just, had them, liked having them around?
Liked having them around, like kind of learning tricks with them, kind of always had a couple on me. And you're kind of getting to know the different styles, the different sort of shapes of the blade and kind of the ways of retracting them. And then you kind of, you get into the bigger stuff, you walk in the kitchen, you see that big block of knives and you're like, whoa, what's that?
Yeah.
Yeah.
I mean, it does always seem like bad kids, or I don't want to say bad kids because kids aren't bad, but, problematic kids always seem to come across a butterfly knife. Now, why is that?
And you can say I was a bad kid.
Okay.
I had a mean streak through me. I had something to prove. If you can guess which finger on my hand was up a lot as a kid, you could probably guess which one it was, unfortunately.
Well, I noticed the tip of your pointer finger is missing. Was it that one or?
No, my middle finger.
Okay.
I was always shooting the bird.
Got it.
Yeah.
Well, I know you're a PK, and I knew your dad, Big Lou. He was such a he preached the word of God, but I know a lot of PKs really just end up with that rebellious spirit. It almost seems like it's built in.
The pressure's on, My father was a great preacher. I can appreciate that now. I think when you hit the teenage years and you just kind of get mad about it, you're like, I just want to be able to goof off and not have to be responsible for my father's image, So I kind of went the other way. I would cuss. I'd smoke cigarettes. I had, the knives, which I told you about. Big cusser. Just most of the words that came out of my mouth were F's and S's and D's, and I try not to say them anymore, but sometimes you can't avoid them.
Well, you lose a lot along the way, don't you? And not only just your way, but you lose in your case, I guess the tip of your
fingertip. Yeah. Mm-hmm. I mean, was that from some kind of a chopping knife in the kitchen?
I wish. I wish. It was kind of what you were saying, classic butterfly knife.
Okay.
It's the kind of flashiest one. You can kind of learn the tricks. You're kind of taking the blade out and in and kind of flicking ways. And one time I just got overzealous trying to impress some friends I didn't need to be hanging out with.
And I guess, your name Tumnus, it's kind of a tell. That your father was probably a pastor.
Was he a big C.S. Lewis fan?
Loved C.S. Lewis. Yeah. We read the heck out of those books. Yeah. And he would be the first in line whenever the movies came out. There was like the old British ones. We ate Turkish delights all the time. That part was, they make the books and the movies make them look delectable, but candy technology's really sort of progressed.
Yeah, I've never really understood what that was. A Turkish delight. It does sound much better than it is, doesn't it?
What is it?
They're like always kind of soft, gelatiny, fruity kind of things. It's like a Starburst. It's if you looked at like an evolution scale, I think now we have Starbursts that kind of fill the same function.
Oh, it's a precursor to a fruit candy. Then I would like it. I would like it a lot. Now, I know Tumnus is one of the first characters to appear in The Lion, the Witch, and the Wardrobe book. Is that where your dad stopped reading and named his boy and called it a day?
Yeah, you'd have to ask him. I think he just loved the sort of redemption arc that Mr. Tumnus went on, and kind of a spoiler alert, he's our first kind of fawn that we meet. We fall in love with him. He kind of betrays the kids and then he kind of comes back.
Yeah. And did you catch some heat being made fun of with a name? Because it's sort of a funny name, growing up in Indiana.
Mm-hmm. Tum the Thumb.
Oh, no.
Tum the Dumb Bum.
Yeah.
Tum the Dumb Bum.
Gosh, it's all right there. It's too easy.
And I think that also sort of fed into the rebellious, the sort of F off attitude that I took on, the sort of back away, wearing all black clothes.
Yeah.
Yeah. I mean, it's funny, isn't it, Hallie, how, and I always say it's a strange reality with young people because you're showing them the best option right away. It's Jesus. It's being in church. It's having this awesome relationship with God.
Yes. Yes.
And then for some reason, they just want to do the opposite.
Yep.
And I'm going, why? Yep. Why do you got, because I deal with teens all the time and I know you're going through it, Hallie, right now with, a whole gaggle or at this point, a murder of teens at home. And I just think that it's really unfortunate that teens, especially, they just get it in their heads that no, I don't. I'm just going to do the opposite and get a butterfly knife.
It's like I almost half think we should be telling them that Satan's cool and that, sexy orgies are cool because to get them to not do it. But I can't bring myself to say that stuff. I can't.
Because some of the kids listen, it's not all of them. But, like I'm one of them. I just kind of heard about the truth and the light and the blessings waiting for me and the teachings of Jesus. And I just said, I want to smoke a cigarette and I want to draw on the wall with my markers.
Yeah. I mean, and you start there and where do you end up? I mean, what was it that brought you back? Or was it this just kind of a rumspringa of sorts that you had to have your time to sow your wild oats and then you come back to the kitchen, as it were?
Yeah, tell us a little about Tum Tum pre-cum.
Hallie?
The early days.
Oh, pre-coming back to Christ, you mean?
Yeah.
This episode is brought to you by Adobe Firefly, the all-in-one creative studio with AI-powered image and video generation. Built for today's creative process, Firefly helps you generate, edit, and experiment fast. Because the asks aren't getting smaller, and the timelines? Still tight. With all the best creative AI models in one place, Firefly brings your ideas to life. Learn more at adobe.com/firefly.
If you've ever blasted synth beats from your boombox or burned CDs for your besties, this one's for you. As people get older, much like their music tastes, their health needs change. AG1 is the simple daily health drink designed to deliver over 75 essential daily nutrients and pre- and probiotics to support energy, digestion, and mood, so you can make the most out of every decade and dance break. Learn more at drinkag1.com.
It was kind of through food, I think it was, I went so hard with the knives and started kind of making stuff. And, when you're kind of hanging out with the bad kids, you're eating a lot of junk food. And then at some points I started bringing nicer kind of little puff pastries and little tartlets. I figured out tartlets pretty early, and that was kind of a game changer. So we'd be hanging out, smoking cigarettes, trying to learn how to inline skate rollerblade. And then I would kind of bring the snacks. And I was like, oh, I'm really digging this. And I started to kind of do it to other people. And then Lou, my dad, he kind of brought up the loaves and fishes story.
Oh, that's an incredible story. And I'm just always worried that if inline skating enters the conversation, then you've got a bunch of kids that are just going to decide they're gay. But I think that the one thing that is really interesting is that you bring a tartlet to a group of kids that are starting to push the boundary and really rebel, but it's a tartlet that kind of brings them back in. That's interesting, isn't it?
Bring the tartlet to the teen. It's like taking a horse to water.
And, some of those kids are still, they're adults now who smoke cigarettes and like beer way too much, but some of them came with me, and I've got some in the kitchen with me.
Oh, that's awesome.
Which is kind of cool.
Oh, that's kind of
here in the Manna food court?
Mm-hmm.
Awesome.
Really? Oh, that is great. Because you do hear that kitchens sometimes in the secular world can be a place of, a lot of drug use or, staying up late and a lot of pressure. But I like the vibe that you cultivate around Twin Hills, which is really, hey, we're going to be praying out in the open before any of these chafing dishes come out. We'll be in a leadership meeting and you guys are, before you even light up that sterno, I see you all, having a word. I think it's awesome. It seems like the stress is low. You're not pushing anybody beyond their limits. And that's going to be a nice place to work.
Yeah. And that's kind of part of my program. If you got some steam to blow it off, send it to the place where you're going to get the most back for your buck. Send it up to, our guys upstairs, whether it be the Holy Spirit, God, or Jesus, And if you need to pray, I set everybody down when they first kind of enter my kitchen. And I'm like, if you need to pray 15, 16, 17 times, during the course of a shift, take that time, close your eyes, say a little thank you, say a little please, say a little help, and get back to it,
That's funny because I thought the other day, again, in the leadership meeting when you all catered it, I saw a guy just standing in the corner with his eyes closed and I thought he had fallen asleep on the job. And I'm going, wow, these guys must be just pushed to the limit. And then I went over and I said, hey, wake up. And he said, I was praying. I'm actually totally fine. I was just taking a moment for myself. I thought that was awesome.
Awesome.
Yeah.
That's cool. As long as you're not, carrying a hot boiling thing of water or, dicing something up with a sharp knife, go ahead and clap those eyes closed and shoot up some quick messages to God. And, speaking of the man upstairs, I mean, you get into a lot of the big guys upstairs type of meetings. You bring the catering up from the manna food court and you get to sit in on a lot of stuff Steve does. I mean, you're in the room for some real important stuff. I mean, are you gleaning some amazing leadership skills or some Christ-focused energy from being around the head honchos?
I mean, you're kind of watching I don't know sports, but you're watching the best sports player play the sport, and you're kind of, everyone sitting around the table is that same. I don't know. I don't watch sports, so I just don't know.
Yeah. I'm trying to think of a sport that you would do around a table.
Yeah.
I guess ping pong.
Ping pong for sure.
It's kind of like watching the best
15 to 16 ping pong players, and he's pinging the most.
Right.
Air hockey, pool, billiards.
But which one's
snooker?
Seated, I guess.
Seated around a table.
Yeah. I mean, World Series of Poker, but I mean, obviously that's not a sport.
Don't like that.
And, seated sport around a table. Yeah. I'm not really a sports guy either.
Well, NASCAR is seated and they're going around, but there's no table.
That's the shape of the table.
That is that's a good point. That is the shape of the table.
Yeah.
Sort of like the best NASCAR guys seated around a table, maybe.
I think that's what I love so much about being a Christian is that really every metaphor works, whether it's sports, whether it's food, whether it's, you give me any Hollywood movie and I can find the Christ redemption story inside of that. I don't care if it's Braveheart or if it's Forrest Gump. It's all just retelling the story of redemption because, we just have a Jesus-shaped hole in our hearts, I think. Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, I had a challenge from a teen the other day. I said a similar thing, and I don't like to name names, but his name was Focus Pinnacle.
Oh,
and
Focus.
And I said, name a movie, and he said, Leaving Las Vegas. And I said, you know what? I've not seen that movie, so I don't know, but
it sounds sick.
And he said, well, a man pours vodka on a prostitute and drinks it off of it.
Oh,
and
it grieves the heart of God.
I don't even know what you're talking about. It doesn't sound like a movie. It sounds like a pornographic film. But I said, well, if there's one thing Christ would do, it would be leave Las Vegas.
Yeah.
He would get out of there.
Yes.
He wouldn't like it. He would leave.
Yeah. And I'm going to be honest with you. I can still find the story of Jesus in a story of an alcoholic falling in love with a sex worker. I can, and it doesn't take any mental gymnastics. Think about it. When Jesus was hanging on the cross, he told these two robbers next to him that they were going to heaven. So I think a boozer and a streetwalker, have just as good of a shot as anybody.
Yeah.
That was cool. That was like, I guess putting it in my terms, you took kind of raw ingredients, the movie, and then you kind of chopped them, prepared them, seasoned them, and cooked them, and you kind of turned them into the message of Jesus, our Savior.
From tot to totlet.
Yeah, thank you. And you're making me hungry, Tumnus. I mean, what would you say is your favorite part of catering? Do you like going around with the finger foods? Do you feel like you know who's going to be drawn to what snacks? Is it a whole experiment in humanity?
Sometimes when you're walking around with the past apps, it is really like you're kind of like the big dog that walks around in the cold that you kind of had whatever like healing liquid.
Oh, Snow Dog?
Yeah, Snow Dog that had the healing liquid, and you would give the healing liquid to people.
Right.
And they would.
Yeah, St. Bernard.
I'm kind of walking around with the healing liquid, and I'm kind of, people are kind of, they just got out of a meeting and they're like, my brain is fried, and I'm there and I've got some lamb meatballs, and they're kind of so excited to see me. They're kind of very grateful, and they can just have a little thing, you know?
Yeah.
And it's not going to be enough for a full meal because they know that's coming.
Right.
So that's definitely very nice.
Yeah.
And then, you know, I also really love after the meal, and you can kind of see the people kind of leaning back and they kind of pat their stomachs with both their hands, and hearing them sort of like rub their stomachs in a kind of clockwise manner after the meals. And you can really just kind of see that they've enjoyed everything that they've eaten.
That has to be such a fun, satisfying image to see a bunch of church leaders lean back from a table and just pat away.
Rubbing their,
you know, rub and pat and do whatever you need to do after a meal.
Awesome.
Yeah. It's kind of a concert of percussion seeing these guys after the meals. And so, yeah, it's kind of beautiful.
Now, I did want to ask, do you ever get into a situation where it can get a little stressful or tense in a catering situation? I've heard that it can, but I don't really see why, because, you know, for the most part, I'm just like, it's just making food for a lot of people with a specific timeline and a lot of moving parts. And it doesn't necessarily seem like it's not rocket science, as it were. It's not youth ministry.
Yeah. Well.
But are there times when it does get a bit stressful?
Yeah, I'd say so, you know, and that's when I kind of encourage everyone to pray like we were talking about. But sometimes some other steam comes out, you know, You're on a schedule, you know, there's a lot that can just like one person might slip, one person, you know, a handful of people might be praying at a certain time, and, you know, the fish might not be as ready to come out as it needs to be, and we're kind of waiting on a couple plates of fish so we can kind of serve a table at the same time. And there's that path there, that sort of easy downhill path that I think we've all had to face a lot, that we can kind of head into anger, and sometimes some hecks and some fricks come out.
Oh, I see. Yeah. So sort of the PK comes
roaring
emerges.
back.
Yeah. The sort of dark Aslan, I guess, is maybe what the opposite of a tumnus.
Exactly. A dark Aslan kind of comes out, and we're always kind of a teenager, you know? So some of that stuff just kind of comes back, unfortunately.
Yep.
Some of the hard words, some of that anger.
Yep.
I think it was 2 years ago, I flicked the bird at somebody in my kitchen.
Oh, boy.
Oh, wow. Wow.
And I still think about that. And I say, never again.
Yeah.
Because it can happen.
Yeah. Well, it's easy because, you know, sin is a slippery slope. And sometimes our language can go from Turkish to light to a Turkish blight. You know what I'm saying? But that's why Jesus hung on the cross. And, you know, if I may, I don't want to tell you your business, Tumnus, but if I may just offer one tiny suggestion on the picky bits part you mentioned. Did you call it the apps pass?
Past apps, yes.
Past apps. At that point, from a female perspective, that's when we all still have our lipstick on. We're still usually standing up in a heel. And if you give us something that doesn't go in one, pop it in, you know, something that maybe the size of a piece of popcorn or a tiny little meatball, if you give us something we have to bite into and it has some sauce on top and it's going to end up in our teeth and all over our face. I mean, I have a tiny little mouth. It's so small. When I eat a burrito, I can end up with a bean in my eyebrow. I have the smallest face. And so if I could just ask for the apps pass to be could those just fit into smaller spaces?
Wow. You know, you do this so long, and you think you have an idea of most of the facets about this, but, you know, I just never thought to preserve lipstick and about the sort of our small-mouthed guests.
Yeah, I don't even think about that at all, really, because I really liked the thing you had that one time that was the small hot dogs on a stick with the quail eggs in between. I thought that was great.
Thank you. Yeah.
Quail egg hot dogs.
And that's like a 3-inch kind of appetizer that you're kind of...
That's a 3-inch appetizer that you kind of have to do. You have to do it in one to really get get the explosive egg in that protein-packed sausage that you had on there. I thought that was great.
Well, I also couldn't stay away from those massive drumsticks you had that were slathered in BBQ sauce. Those were so good, but that was as big as my head, and that was in the Apps Pass.
Yeah, I had just seen a picture of a Renaissance fair, so I thought, wouldn't that be kind of fun if everyone had the big legs? But yeah, I got a lot of complaints about that one. A lot of Sunday's best that became the Sunday's resting on your floor before you kind of donate them.
Stitch Fix. Stop shopping, get styled.
A+ on the outfit, Miss Turner. You are about to slay parent-teacher conferences.
Oh, these? Just the most perfect fitting jeans my stylist sent me.
Oh, hello, you, who didn't set one foot in a mall and still looks amazing.
Just share your size, style, and budget, and your stylist sends personalized looks right to your door. Stitch Fix. Get started today at stitchfix.com.
To my stylist.
This look is dedicated to you. Thank you. Thank you.
Starting a business can seem like a daunting task, unless you have a partner like Shopify. They have the tools you need to start and grow your business. From designing a website to marketing to selling and beyond, Shopify can help with everything you need. There's a reason millions of companies like Mattel, Heinz, and Allbirds continue to trust and use them. With Shopify on your side, turn your big business idea into... Sign up for your $1 per month trial at shopify.com/special offer.
Oh, and so do you go to Renaissance fairs?
I saw the pictures and it looked exciting.
Yeah.
There's the swords, the biggest knife you can get, which is definitely appealing for me. But I think it seemed like it was a place of sin. The women were kind of showing their cleavage in a way.
Yeah.
Kind of made me uncomfortable.
Yep.
Oh.
Yep.
Yeah,
they wear those peasant blouses that are just, forgive my French, they're so booby.
Yeah,
these are booby blouses.
It's too much sausage and not enough casing.
That's right. And when these girls wear these peasant tops and they're a little top heavy, if you know what I mean, I mean, and I think they serve milk at these Renaissance fairs too. So if women have their chests out and people are also drinking milk, my gosh, I mean, it just leads your brain, it takes you where you don't want to go.
Exactly. And it seemed from what I saw that they were maybe hiring based off these things, like they were looking for people who had those sort of features.
Well, I went to one years ago and I barely remember it, but it was all men, luckily. So that was great. Wow. And that was awesome.
Good. That must have been a lot of knives and swords.
And I just remember, there was some feats of strength. There was various, throwing of axes, throwing of knives, some mud wrestling. And it was all just, in a way, a great celebration of masculinity. And I think they did a good job in just removing the female element, because I'm not even sure women were, back then. I'm not even sure people were acknowledging that women were even a thing back then.
Oh, really?
You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Yeah, I know. I mean, I love my wife. I love all the sort of women in my life.
Married?
Yes. Yeah.
Oh, wow. I know. Well, I guess I noticed you did have a ring on your finger, but it's a tattoo ring.
Yeah. It was kind of as I was kind of coming out of the darkness. So I have a tattoo.
Oh, yeah. But it's of a wedding ring.
So that's good. Yeah, that's good. That means you're committed. Does your wife let you cook for her?
She does. Yeah. She, if you kind of hear her talk about it, she kind of says she's one of the luckiest women in town because she doesn't have to do that part of it. But, she's normally on cleaning, if you can understand that. Yeah.
Yeah. All right. Definitely understand. And do you have kids?
Yeah, 3.
Oh, my goodness.
Oh, that's the picture there on your phone. I see. Great. That's nice. 3 daughters. Okay.
Oh, wow. Well, you got your hands
full. So just a lot of ladies around your house.
Yeah.
Yeah. And are those triplets, or are they all just kind of different sizes of kids with red hair?
Just different sizes of kids with red hair. Yeah. I think her genes are very strong. So they all kind of very much look like her at the ages that they are. So.
Oh, and the tall one's your wife. I see. Okay.
Oh,
Mhm.
oh, okay.
Yes.
Yeah. Well, you're going to need a lot of sunscreen for a day at the beach with that family.
I mean,
Oh, yes. Oh, yeah.
speaking of Renaissance, your wife's lucky she didn't live in the Renaissance times, or they would have beheaded her for not making a boy.
Yeah, probably.
I think that's what happened. I think they do that in England all the time. If a woman doesn't have a son, they just chop off her head, and it's all right.
And that goes back to what we were talking about. I don't understand why we're celebrating this time period.
Yeah,
we're kind of this sort of lusty women, the swords, which I like, and the masculinity, which I think we should celebrate, and then there's that other crap you hear about where it's like, yeah, you got to have a boy or they're going to chop your head off.
Yeah. What are the daughters' names?
Let's see. Anne and Michelle and Clarissa.
Oh, and those are all names also from Lion, the Witch, and the Wardrobe, aren't they?
Oh, wow. That's so cool, Thomas. That's so cool. What do you think's better, the book or the movie?
They each serve different things. I think the books are the best, but the movies send the kids to the books.
Oh, that's always the way it works, isn't it? It's like once a kid sees the movie, they run to read a book.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. Yeah.
Well, what do you have there? I did notice you've got a large chafing dish here under foil, and I've been smelling it this whole time.
Oh.
So I recently learned what an arancini is. It's kind of a fried Italian rice ball, and you can kind of put different things with the rice. So this is a pulled pork and cheddar arancini.
Oh my
goodness.
This is so, and this is for us, Tumnus?
Yeah, I thought we could try it.
Wow. Thanks for thinking of us. This looks great, and it smells even better.
And I think I'm just going to kind of eat the pork out from the middle and leave the cob on the side here.
I'll eat your rice.
This is before I knew about how small your mouth was and the problems that has. And so they are kind of softball size.
I'm Holly Laurent playing Hallie Levant, and that over there, that's Greg Hess playing Gray Haas. If you would like the Mega VIP treatment and listen ad-free, just go to mega.supercast.com. We would love it if you did. Become a member. Do it. It'll feel so good.
Speaking of Supercast, it's a great time to join. There's a free trial, and that is the best way to make sure that Mega keeps going. You'll get your 4 to 6 episodes per month ad-free, including a behind-the-scenes podcast that we make. And really, it is the way we keep going. So please consider a Supercast membership. A very special thanks to our founding members. That's Bobby and Betty, Nana and T-Pop, Adrian O, Kristen A, and Anonymous. You know who you are. See you next time.
At ZocDoc, we know being a healthy adult is like living in a video game. Every day has side quests, taxes, laundry, birthdays. And just when you're leveling up, you have to book a doctor. The insurance portal crashes. They put you on hold. Your doctor doesn't take your plan. Game over. We see you. So we made booking a doctor easy. Download ZocDoc. Search by specialty, insurance, and availability. Book instantly. No cheat codes required. Find a doctor you love with ZocDoc.
Hey, it's Ryan Reynolds here from Mint Mobile. Now, I was looking for fun ways to tell you that Mint's offer of unlimited premium wireless for $15 a month is back. So I thought it would be fun if we made $15 bills. But it turns out that's very illegal. So there goes my big idea for the commercial. Give it a try at mintmobile.com/switch.
Upfront payment of $45 for 3 months, $90 for 6 months, or $180 for 12-month plan required. $15 per month equivalent. Taxes and fees extra. Initial plan term only. Greater than 50 gigabytes may slow when network is busy. See terms.